another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Anyway, shelf, and I got it so it'll almost slide in there. So very tight. I'm going to go ahead and loosen my little electrical conditioner unit, and then it should be so spreadable. It's incredible. So I'm going to loosen this, knock this out a little bit, put some glue along. I've actually made a mark along here where the glue's got to go. I'm going to slide my bad boy in, clamp it all up, run some screws in, and then this unit should be pretty much ready to start sanding and painting. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and build the desk. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm thinking, you know, cool. So here we are one more time. I have got my desk pretty well roughed in, and I just have it sitting here. It's loose. I don't have it screwed in or anything. Here's my top piece, my monitor shelf, something like that. And I'm also going to have a shelf coming out or a slider with ball bearing guides so that my keyboard can come out here and I can play it without having it on the desk and being in the way, which is what I have now. One little problem I got that I've noticed is that if I run this all the way up tight, the reveal on here goes beyond the front edge of this. So I've decided to make a couple little 1/2-inch spacers right here. I'll make them kind of decorative, you know, round them over or something, and so that it'll push this forward a little bit and give it a reveal, kind of like this upper there. So that's pretty much it. This is going to leave another little space in the back, which I don't care because I'm going to have, you know, there'll be wires from keyboards and mouses and things like that that are going to have to run back there and feed over into my, you know, box that's got my equipment. Good morning. So here we are one more time. I have put together my desk. A couple things I'm going to talk about before I get to actually sanding and finishing it. Put in my little drawer where my keyboard's going to sit, and I attach these ball bearing guides that'll hold a lot of weight. I mean, it's probably real overkill, but hey, I had them. So anyway, and this is going to work really good. It's kind of come all the way out, so I'll, you know, or partially out. But I just want to talk about these guides beforehand. You have to kind of take an average because they're flexible this way. So it ended up about 45 inches. This space is 46 inches, but so I took the average of, you know, how far their spread was and got it in the middle. It works great. It doesn't bind. If you get it too closed, it'll bind. If you get it too far out, it'll bind. So whenever you're installing this sort of a thing, you need to take that into consideration. If you notice down here at the bottom, I put in a brace more or less to hold the bottom of it, but I decided, what the heck, I'll build a shelf down there as well. My feet won't get back that far, and I can put CDs and like little manuals, you know, of motherboards and whatever, how to run my 11 rack, you know, all the manuals that I access, but I only access now and then. Yeah, I gotta get on my knees, but you know, hey, no big thing. This camera makes me look fat. Anyway, you didn't see me actually putting all this together, so what I did is I glued this all, you know, the tops of this, and then I just ran screws down, and that's pretty much it. And it seems to be, you know, pretty darn tight that way. Plus, I glued it really well. Now today I'm gonna, I've got some little DAF wood filler that I got from Ace Hardware, natural, because I've decided I'm not really going to stain this. I want to keep it natural. You know, being kind of a woodworker kind of guy, I like to look at the wood. I like to look at the knots. I don't really want to hide any of that. I don't really even care that much about some of the flaws. I'm just going to do this here and there on some, you know, ones that stick out, mainly on this surface. You know, I want this surface to be really smooth and clean, easy to wipe off, no little dipsy doodles, you know. The insides, the bottoms, the back, I don't care that much. I mean, it's mine, it's in my studio. Who cares? I know this thing looks a little rustic, but I like it like that. You know, I don't want to. I've seen a lot of these on YouTube where they make them out of particle board or some kind of, you know, weird composite board. This is all wood, and the cheapest #2 pine I could find. You know, good woodworker can make crappy wood look good. You know, that's the bottom line. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this a little bit, dust it off. Then I'm going to do some filler, and then I'm going to put both my units together and drill some access holes through the bottom of them for wires. I'll show you that in a little while, but right now I'm going to get to work filling and sanding. When I take this thing apart, I'll make some footage of that, because it's, you know, especially this thing, then you get a really good idea how to put it in, seeing as how I didn't show you. Alright, so away I go. I've filled in all my blems with my putty, and I'm going to let it dry. So I figured, while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and take off my little shelf here, so you can kind of get an idea of, you know, how it works and how you can put it back on, whatever. So I installed some clamps. That's what I did in the first place to install it. I clamped it on both ends. Any clamp will do. Just has to have a space, a little bit of a space. This C-clamp works great. This little spring clamp here, it works great. So now I'm just gonna unscrew it. I could feel it then when I took it apart. You know, I wanted to spread a little bit. Thing's sanded pretty well alright already. I'm not going to do too much to that. I will give everything a final sanding. But I've been sort of sanding as I go along, you know. When you're working with real wood, what the hell, when you cut the pieces, you know, I've kept a piece of sandpaper in my back pocket. You know, worked on it a little bit. Alright, so here's my guides. Still need to take them off because I want to sand and seal and put my top coat on. At least one coat down there. Probably end up putting 2 or 3 coats on these surfaces. So let me take these off. Put it over here where the sun don't shine. Alright, so now I've got my putty kind of set up for about a half an hour or so. It said 24 hours on the thing, but I'm going to go ahead and sand a little bit, sand right over it, even though it might still be a little bit moist, because I figure then I can work some of the sawdust down into the putty, and that'll even make it be way more like the color of this. Although putty's pretty darn close already. I have my little El Cheapo vibrating battery operated sander, noisy as hell. And this is an 80 grit. Obviously isn't the right thing for them, it doesn't matter. It's got felt on the back, it sticks on there. Hey, it works great. And I'm sure you noticed that. I'm not going to be able to sand under there except for by hand. Not thrilled about that. Do it with some steel wool, but I also have some weird velvet kind of almost abrasive pad that'll shine it up a little bit before I do my top coats. Anyway, that's enough of that. And then we're gonna put the 2 units together, and I'm gonna drill my access hole. I'll go ahead and film that, because whatever wires or monitors or all that, whatever you want to do with it, everything's got to get over here to the rack where all the USB plugs are and the firewire and blah blah blah. So I need to drill some holes, and I'm going to go ahead and match everything up so that drill the hole through one, go all the way through, so they're just relatively lined up. And I'm going to put a pretty good sized hole, probably 1.5 inches or something, because I don't want to fight. If I want to stick an electrical plug through there, I want to be able to do it. Or if I want to stick 3 or 4 wires at a time, I want to do it. I don't want to, fight little holes. Silly.